Romance at a glance. Romance at a glance.
What you say now?
Romance at a glance.
Go ahead, girl.
Well, hello, dear listeners, and welcome to Season 2 of Romance at a Glance. I am your host, Bridget, here with my co-host, Shawnee. How you doing, Shawnee?
Hi, Bridget.
How are you?
Oh, Bridget, I'm good now that we're about to pop this bottle of Martinelli's to celebrate Season 2.
Yo, I love Martinelli's. This is not a sponsored post, guys. We just really like Martinelli's, and me and Shawnee aren't big drinkers because I'm breastfeeding and Shawnee's just not a drinker. And so we are doing Martinelli's. Midday, we're recording this podcast, Season 2, coming at ya. What are we doing this season, Shawnee?
We are about to talk about J.R. Ward's Black Dagger Brotherhood.
Now, if you were listening last season, you may remember that we covered Dark Lover, Book 1 of the Black Dagger Brotherhood. And today, we are going to start with Book 2, Mary and Rhage.
Oh, you know I love a brother.
Oh, I love the brothers.
I love the brothers.
Love the brothers. You know what? We have decided to go with themes this year. So, Season 2's theme is going to be the Black Dagger Brotherhood. So, all 10 episodes are going to be the Black Dagger Brotherhood. Season 3, we're going to be hitting you with some summer beach reads, modern, contemporary fun. Then we're hitting those historicals for Shawnee. You know, she likes to get in the historical mindset.
They're my favorite, Bridget.
In Season 5, we're going to do a holiday mashup. We're going to hit all those fun holidays. We're going to have maybe some witches, some fun things for Halloween. We're going to get some good home, down country, maybe cowboy stories for Thanksgiving, and finish it off with some Christmas classics. So we hope you'll stick around, subscribe for the year.
And if you want to join our discussion group, head over to Patreon. We have a lot of great perks and a lot of great extra things that you can find there. And you can join our Discord group and get to talking with us about the Black Dagger Brotherhood so we can get nasty together.
We're going to get nasty in Season 2.
We're going to get so nasty
in Season 2.
Nasty in Season 2.
And nasty
in Season 2. We get nasty. We get nasty.
We're talking about those
I love a brother.
Without further ado, welcome to Season 2 of Romance at a Glance.
Romance at a glance. What would be a country song? We got romance. Romance at a glance. We got romance. Romance at a glance. Oh, yeah.
In case you're wondering, this is Romance at a Glance. Welcome to another episode. Hi, Shawnee.
Hi, Bridget.
How's it going?
That's a beautiful voice you got there, Bridget.
You too. I also especially like how the songs just come out of you. Songs just come.
Just roll. So we got to start at like literally when she came and he was having her talk.
Yeah, that was a little creep factor.
That was a really creep factor.
Yeah.
It's weird because when I first read it, it was different. And then when
Sure.
I'm reading it again, I'm like, there's a lot of real rapey moments in this book.
Very rapey moment.
You know, it's
so
like,
let me just give everybody the synopsis. Let's just synopsis it up real quick.
Oh, synopsis it up, Bridge.
And then you take us into the stairwell.
Okay.
In the shadows of the night in Caldwell, New York, there's a deadly turf war raging between vampires and their slayers. There exists a secret band of brothers like no other, 6 vampire warriors, defenders of their race. Possessed by a deadly beast, Rhage is the most dangerous of the Black Dagger Brotherhood. Within the Brotherhood, Rhage is the vampire with the strongest appetites. He's the best fighter, the quickest to act on his impulses, and the most voracious lover, for inside him burns a ferocious curse cast by the Scribe Virgin. Owned by this dark side, Rhage fears the time when his inner dragon is unleashed, making him a danger to everyone around him. Mary Luce, a survivor of many hardships, is unwittingly thrown into the vampire world and reliant on Rhage's protection. With a life-threatening curse of her own, Mary is not looking for love. She's lost her faith in miracles years ago. But when Rhage's intense animal attraction turns into something more emotional, he knows that he must make Mary his alone. And while their enemies close in, Mary fights desperately to gain life eternal with the one she loves. Which I feel like is like kind of a weird synopsis. But basically...
You really made that entertaining for me.
I'm glad. Basically, the story is that Rhage is like this party playboy who has a cursed beast inside of him. And he uses sex to regulate the beast and violence to regulate the beast so that it doesn't come out often. Because if he doesn't regulate his emotions and doesn't regulate his needs, then the beast will come out and could potentially kill his brothers or kill some innocent bystanders.
Yeah.
And Mary had cancer. and her mom died of cancer, and she's had like a million operations and thought the leukemia was gone, but now it turns out it's back. And she lives across a meadow from Bella, who is a vampire, and then befriends John Matthew, who is a pre-trans vampire. And that's kind of how she gets drawn into the whole vampire world and meets Rhage. And now Shawnee's going to take it away and tell you what happens when she meets Rhage in a dark hallway.
Well, actually, I love that we get really introduced to John Matthew in this book. When he pops in, I'm like, yes, he's in the story, because he's one of my favorite.
Agreed. Totally agreed. He's one of my. He probably. Oh,
this book sets.
I would
up,
say he's top 3 for me for sure.
He is, because I love Zex in his book.
Oh, so good.
Or whatnot, and he's actually the reincarnation of Darius. But like I love that in this book. The reason this book is actually important is because Bella, we get our setup for Bella, and we get John Matthew, and we just kind of, this is still a setup book for me, and I think that's kind of why it's a meh, but it's also very necessary.
Yeah.
But so with Rhage and Mary Luce, in the stairwell when he's hearing her talk, and he like pins her like against the wall, and he's like, just keep talking, say nothing, and having her talk to him over and over. I mean, it's like really creepy, but also like
he can smell that she's getting aroused.
Yeah.
As he's like pressing his boner into her stomach, and he's like this enormous man,
dude,
trapping her in a dark hallway that she's never been in before. If I was her, I'd be like, the fuck's
fuck?
going on? I'd be like, I'm so uncomfortable. I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. I'm panicking. My heart would be going like 180 beats a minute.
Yeah. Like for real.
Yeah.
This is also the first time I read the book where I took the author's description to heart, because since I'm reading all these things for the podcast, I'm listening to them differently. So like this is the first time I actually listened to the description of the mansion. Like I never listened to it before. I was like, there's marble? I just made a mansion in my mind. They said there's a mansion. I created a mansion. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
I created what the corridors look like. And that was all based off of just my own imagination. I didn't use any of the description really from the book ever. I didn't even realize that Rhage was blonde. So blonde is my least favorite hair color on a man, like Fabio. Blonde for me is not the thing that gets me going. More of that dark hair. Like,
it's ironic because your partner
is so blonde.
Sandy blonde?
Yeah.
What might describe it?
Yes. It's very long and it's very sandy blonde. But in my fantasies, it's always dark hair.
People, yeah.
Yes, dark hair always. Like if they're it's more that like Italian, like like olive complexion or nice,
tall, dark, and handsome.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So if
they've been slinging that shit in movies forever. So it's just in our minds.
Yeah. Well, it's also like it's basically I pick like a general race. So if it's a black guy in the character, so I have a general look for a black guy that I like, and if it's a white guy, I have a general look for a white guy in my mind. Okay. Like that's how it works. And same Asian, same thing. So like my general white guy is always like an Italian looking dude, like the guy from The Princess and the Frog. It looks something like that guy.
I hate that movie, but
yeah,
yes,
it's
I know
terrible.
who you're talking
it's
about.
terrible. But yeah, he's generally that. So for me, Rhage, like almost every character looks like that, just with scars or with this or with a dragon or with that. So I was listening, I was like, wait a minute, he's blonde?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. And I actively tried to recreate him in my mind. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But anyways, I was still there for it. He was a big dude, but I did that scene right there. I'm like, this is kind of creepy, a little bit rapey, but I'm here for the energy of it.
Yeah,
I am here for the energy. And then the date to me, that was the funny part for me of the book.
Very funny. I love that scene.
That funny one where she's like, he's definitely not coming to my table.
Yeah,
and then he's at my table. You have the wrong table. I'm gonna go now. She just was trying to get out of this situation
totally,
and was purely convinced it was an accident.
I agree. That was actually what I was writing was, I love their story because I think everyone relates to the fact that you've gone out with someone who you consider out of your league.
Yeah.
Either sexually or physically, attractive wise, or financially, or whatever is your trigger. And so you're like sitting there the whole time like, why the fuck are these people with me? Like, I'm like, you're looking around like, are they scoping other people here? Like, I don't understand. Is this a prank? Am I punked? Like, what's happening? And in the reverse sense, like most people have also been on a date with someone who like keeps questioning like why you like them, or you've dated someone who's like, yeah, but I don't understand why you like me, and you're like, get over it, I do. Like, why are you, stop making this so hard? I like you, I want you. Don't stop asking why. I want to be up in that. Let me get up in that. You know what I'm saying? And
it's really rude to ask why when we're trying to get up in that.
Exactly. And I feel like for me, like a little bit of the thing I think that scene's hilarious. He orders like 100 food items from the menu. He's like not even trying to pretend he's a human being. No human being eats that much food. And he's just like so enthralled by her and just like so focused on her. And she's just like, what is going
She's watching all the other ladies like try to hit on him or looking at him. And he's just like zoned into her.
He's like,
and it's like, talk. I want to just talk. Say anything.
Tell me about your life.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know everything. She's just like, what? But I feel like so I love that opening scene because it's such a normal reaction I feel like you would have when someone's like movie star good looking and you meet them and you're like, you like me?
Yeah.
But I'm a normal human being and you're what I would describe as a sexual god. But
Brad Pitt, Legends of the Fall.
Right? Ooh. Let's take a moment.
Rewind.
Thank you, Lord Jesus, for Brad
Pitt in Legends of the Fall.
In general. But especially in that movie.
Movie. Rewind.
Oh, he did a River Runs Through It right during that period of time too. He did like 4 movies in a row where I was just like, cannot get enough of this piece. Meet Joe Black. Ooh.
Oh.
He had a great sex
era.
No, encounter. It was not even an encounter. It was just a sex session, one might say.
Yeah.
To that movie. It's like a 3-hour movie. And we were like spoon banging through like an hour of it. And it was like the best thing. Cause like visually I was just like, Brad Pitt, meet Joe Black. And it's like such a romantic movie. Yeah. And like, it's just, it's a wonderful movie in general. And then also we were banging and it's like a lot of neck kissing. And I was just like, this is fire. All life should be this good. All life should be this good.
Spoon banging.
Spoon banging. So all Brad Pitt all the time.
All the time. Hashtag all Brad Pitt all the time.
One thing I don't love about their story is that she never gets over that until much later.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's clearly showing you through his words and actions that he's on board. With the possible exception of the night where he is worried that he's going to injure her. So he tries to like go relieve his stress and like bang someone else. But with that exception, like he's so committed to her and she's the one who's like, this isn't going to work and da-da-da-da and I'm sick and I don't want to burden you and I'm fine and blah, blah, blah. And he does get kind of annoyed with her. He's like, you're not fine, obviously. But I feel like for me, I was like, get on board with this hot slice of vampire who wants to love you forever.
Well, so like I am annoyed. I do get annoyed by the fact that she like doesn't come around, but like I also can sort of understand, right? So like the first night I ever played with my play partner, I ended up in the hospital, right? Not because of him. Because of him.
Yeah.
Okay. Just because I have
generally.
I have another health issue, right?
Yeah.
I ended up in the hospital. And it was the first thing that had triggered it off, right? So I was like, fine. It wasn't like fine until then, but I was like fine enough to live my life. And then that night after we played, I ended up in the hospital. And like it was like, this is just starting, like, you know? And I was like, why would he sign up for somebody who's gonna have to like go through a medical thing for, you know, at least it's treatable and whatever, but like go through a medical thing for a minute. Like I have that thought, and I have that thought, you know, a bunch of times.
Right.
Like he's not signing. Who wants to sign up for that? Right. And he's actually over here going like, that's stupid. Like, you're being stupid.
Yeah.
Like, he asked me yesterday, okay, give me a list of all the things you can and can't eat so I can make sure that I have them in the fridge, right? Yeah. Like, he makes it no problem. But my own brain is like, but why would you sign up for that? So I literally, when I was...
You're wonderful, Shawnee.
Thanks. Bridget, that's very nice. I'm sensitive right now.
And you're a slice. You're a snack.
I'm a snack. And I'm a slut.
No.
No, it's good. Well, yeah.
Well, maybe.
But...
Your words, not mine.
You know what I'm saying? But it's interesting because, like, you know, as I'm reading this book about her and stuff, I'm like, get over it. So this morning I was like, Shawnee, get over it.
Yes, you do.
Get over it.
Here's the thing about it. Like, I feel like, did you ever watch that movie, He's Just Not That Into You?
Yes.
So in that movie, I feel like what the character says is like, if a guy likes you, he'll show up, he'll call, he'll bring you the food, he'll have the food you need in his fridge. If he doesn't like you, he's not going to do any of those things.
Yeah.
So I feel like if he's there and he's doing those things, then then he likes you. Yeah. And he also, like, whatever is the thing that you're thinking is, oh, he didn't sign up for this, like, he's aware. As long as you didn't lie to him about said issue, then he is fine with signing. He has signed up for it and is on board with it and you. And so I always think about that because I'm like, oh, but I'm being such a curmudgeon, a pregnant curmudgeon today. And I'm like, it's not fair to my husband. I'm like, wait a minute, that motherfucker signed up for all this shit.
He put that baby in you.
He put that baby in me. He put the ring on it. And also, like, it doesn't bother him when I'm grumpy while I'm pregnant because he's just like, oh, whatever. It's just a phase. Like, it's no big deal. It's just part of the package. Yeah. And so it's fine. And I feel like more people should take your new approach and say, get over it. If they like you, you like them. Go to Pound Town.
Go to Pound Town.
It's the perfect opening.
Going down to Pound Town. So if you had a favorite moment in this book, let us know. We're on Instagram chatting it up with everyone, and we love it. So let us know what your favorite scene is or your favorite moment is. Also, let us know what your favorite, like, sexy scene is, too, because that is really important to me because I'm nosy.
Yes. And also you like the sexy scenes.
I love the sexy things.
I do want to talk quickly about a few romantic scenes that I liked. Or not even romantic, just like world building and romantic.
Please.
So every scene with John Matthew is the best.
Check.
Especially Wellsie being so kind and feeding him and him not feeling hungry for the first time and crying at the table.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God.
In the field.
My heart is hurting so bad. And how he wants to, like, protect them, but he's so small and, like...
I love how he's so small. He's so, like, scrawny.
Yeah, he's so scrawny, and he's, like, dreaming of, like, fucking hot chicks and, like, battles and killing. And then he's just like, but I'm so little in real life. So I love him. The other scene, I mean, Zadis and Bella, ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Such a good meeting. Such good interactions. And I thought the scene where Tor and the other brothers are telling him he has to wipe Mary's memory, and he says, like, she's not going to be alive long enough for it to matter. I was like, so good.
That was
so sad.
Yeah, that was very sad. It was very sad.
And then the other scene I thought was really cute and romantic was when Mary's, like, so excited when she comes back home at the very end of the book, and she's like, Fritz, and gives us prancing through the house, and she's like, Rage, you won't believe it, I got a miracle, I always knew it was true. And then he's like, get out, you have to leave, you can't be here, I didn't do this, how are you here? Like, he's like, he's trying to, like, toss her out of the room, and she's like, everything's fine, I'm healed. And he's like, you have to get out, you have to leave. And she's like, why are you kneeling on a bunch of glass and bleeding all over? What is going on? And he's like, you gotta go right now. I don't want to see you. I don't want to talk to you. She's like, we can be together forever. And he's like, you gotta go. And, like,
you're not listening. What I said is,
I made a deal with the Sky Virgin. You're about to back out of the deal. And he's like, I thought that scene was so great.
That scene was awesome. Like, it was visceral. Like, I could see the entire
totally. But that was one of my favorites. It was great.
And I also like that. So there's a point in the book that I actually really don't like, and that the review I pick points it out. Mm-hmm. But I also kind of like at the end of this book that they don't get the full happily ever after type thing. They get a happily ever after, but she also, like, can't have children. So the scribe virgin's like, okay, I said that you couldn't talk to her, you couldn't be a part of her life at all, but now that I know that she's completely infertile and that's already a punishment enough, then you guys can be together. Mm-hmm. She didn't go like, that's punishment enough, and I'm going to restore her ability to have children and her fertility, and you guys are going to be able, walk into the sunset. Yeah. So I did like that was kind of...
I agree. It would have been weird if she had done the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I liked it was a perfect amount of, like, happily ever after meets realism.
Right.
To me, realism, the scribe virgin.
Realism from a paranormal romance.
Exactly.
With a deity visiting, but...
In my own mind, everything is paranormal.
Yeah, true.
So that I did enjoy that. I didn't enjoy the part in the book where he has her in his room and he's trying to control his demon or whatever, and he wants to fuck her, And he's like, I can't. I'm going to go crazy. It's going to be too much. And he leaves and goes and fucks other people.
Yeah.
I'm just never a fan of that in a book. I
Yeah.
don't ever like cheating in a book. And so he goes and he fucks other people and then he comes back or whatever. He's like, I love you. And she accepts that. Like when he says, he says, I love you, it like changes something. And I was like,
Well, he also explains at that point about the curse and that he's worried about hurting her and that the beast gets amped up. So like, again, like that's my thing that we talked about last paranormal book we read is I can forgive so much more in a paranormal romance than I can in a real one, only because he's dealing with a literal, it's not a metaphorical emotional beast. It's like a literal thing that could pop out and eat her at any time. And so he's worried that he's going to like be having sex with her and all of a sudden become a monster and eat her.
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, I can forgive, even though I thought that scene was very annoying and heartbreaking, I also can forgive it a little bit more just because it's paranormal.
yeah, but
It's annoying.
But so the thing about it is, like, it is super annoying, but it's like the after the fact thing. He could have explained it to her before the fact.
True.
Like,
True.
He didn't have to like race at it and be like, I'm just gonna go do this thing and come back and then be like, I'm so sorry. This is why I did it. I felt like it also took too long to explain, and then like the hate fuck situation that they had after that, it was like it.
Yeah, that sexual encounter definitely felt very out of character for them both. Which they even, I mean, she even said like, what am I doing?
What am I doing? But I'm also gonna finish.
But I'm also gonna like hop on that D.
Yeah.
But
and it also doesn't fit.
Yeah, I did she say that?
Yeah, she's like when she describes getting on it, it was like it almost wasn't gonna fit.
Almost wasn't gonna fit. I don't remember that, but I mean, you'd expect so. He has a beast inside. He's a monster. He's a sex god.
Everything's a monster. Magnum's too small.
Too small. I agree. I think, especially since he's like, the whole book, he's pushing her to really tell him the truth, like about how you're feeling and about her cancer and about all her treatments and all this other stuff. And then he's hiding this big thing, which again goes back to the conversation we just had, which is just be honest with people. Just give them the deets.
Yeah.
And let them choose. And if he had said that earlier, clearly later in the book, she's like, okay, well, let's figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
And she would have obviously said that earlier in the book too. So yeah, I don't love that he's like pushing her to be honest, but he's not being honest himself.
Yeah. There's also a point where that I did like, because you just brought that up, where she's like, look, I'm leaving because I have all these medical issues. I'm not leaving because I'm going off into the sunset. You know, and he's like, why wouldn't I get the honor of taking care of you during that time? That was my romantic moment.
That was so romantic.
I was like, yeah, that's right.
He's like, you don't think I'm good enough to take care of you?
You know,
and she's like, oh, I get it. You think I'm not worthy of you. And I was like, I
was like,
and she's like, wait, what? She's like, it's going to get real bad. And he's like, you don't think I can handle it? Okay.
Yeah. Then I was like, that's a sweet moment.
It was very sweet.
That was very romantic.
I also think Mary was like a badass when she was like, let's get some chains. Let's do the damn thing. Let's get some chains. Let's let the beast out. Ready for this shit.
I was like,
Vicious and Butch are just like standing in the hallway because they can't be further away and just like smoking cigarettes, like waiting for her to come out and be like, everything's fine, or it ate me. And when they start bringing the chains in, she's like, oh, this is a bit more serious than I thought. But I do love that. And I also think she's a badass when the beast comes out and protects her, and then she walks over and she's like, you did such a good job protecting me, and like you just hear like calming down, no, you can send Rage back, everything's okay now. She's like petting it, like you did so good.
And the other brothers are like, get away.
The other brothers are like, oh my god, she's gonna get eaten.
And she's like, you're gonna get eaten.
Everyone who's coming closer needs to back the fuck up. I'm like, so that I liked about her was that once she was kind of in, she was in.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed.
And I did enjoy, so when he was at her house, like trying to protect her from the Lessers because they had her address, and he got burned, and she sees him, and she sees his fangs all at the same time. She's like, what the hell? Like, what the fuck are you? And he's like, take a guess.
Yeah.
Son, fangs, what do you think? She accepted it fairly quickly.
Very quickly.
You know?
She's like, okay, well.
I think like sometimes the world beats you down.
Yeah.
You know, I've experienced this, and somebody comes at you with something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It can be any sort of crazy, and you just look at them and you're like, all right, oh, okay. Like, and nothing phases you, and I feel like she's gone through so much in her life, that like nothing phases her anymore. She's just
also, she like put ice cream on it and like watched it heal in front of her eyes, so she was like, okay, well, something's going on here. That is not normal.
It's very not normal.
Yes.
I love how he says it. At least the reading, it sounds like he thinks she's stupid when she tries to feed him the ice cream.
Yeah,
and he's like, "No, it's for the burns."
Yeah,
she's like, oh, "Okay, or whatever." So that I like their little house encounter that they had there, or whatnot. I love how all the brothers always have so many weapons on them at like any given time that they're trying to hide from the partner. I always think that's funny because I always comment like, why is his jacket so big? Or what are all these things here? You know?
Yeah.
And they've got like an absurd amount of weapons on them.
Absurd amount of weapons. Like 18 knives.
Like how do you use that
guns.
many weapons in any...
It makes sense though because like even if you look at our military when they're going out somewhere, it's like those motherfuckers got a lot of firepower in one sort of tactical vest and their little hips and
let me tell you
knives and
I would forget where the hell all my tactical weapons are. I carry just pepper spray right now and half the time I'm like, is that in my purse? So I put it in the side pocket.
I'm also not a warrior.
I mean, I'm not a warrior.
One would not describe you as an elite vampire warrior.
First of all, you don't know my life, Bridget. You don't know me and you don't know my life.
That's true. You could be prowling the streets at night
with pepper spray, let me tell you. But I'm like, they got one in their boot, they got one in their hip, they got 3 Glocks in there, and I'm just like, do they remember where all these are?
I think they do.
Or do every so often they find one and they're like, oh shit, I forgot about this one under my arm here.
No, I think they always put them in the same places so they know where they're at. Yeah.
I mean, that would be smart.
That would be smart. And also they have like little like holsters and little areas that they go. They're not just like randomly putting knives in their belts. Like they have places for the knife to go.
I mean, that sounds even smarter.
Yeah. Otherwise, you get cut by your own daggers. No, they got the little dagger sheaths on their chest.
The Black Dagger
The
Brotherhood.
Black Daggers.
What are their daggers made out of?
Oh, they talk about it in one of the books.
They did. They talked about it in this book for a second.
Because I think Vicious makes them all.
Does he?
Uh-huh. I don't remember what they're made out of, but they're made out of something
special. Because it traps the lesser's soul or something when
poofs
they...
poofs lesser soul, yeah.
Yeah. So, like... They were saying that...
or it poofs their body. Their soul's trapped in the jar.
In the jar?
So they try to get
Isn't
the jar...
heart in the jar, too?
Yeah.
The hearts
so they try to get it so that... Because if they don't get the jar, then the Lessening Society can break the jar, and then the evil will go back to the Omega. But if they take the jar, they keep it from the Omega, which weakens it.
Got it.
So the goal is to, like... Keep the jars.
Keep the jar.
That's why they're always, like, looking for everyone's ID and trying to track down where the Lessers came from. No problem. Also, quick side note, or maybe not a side note, because we're talking about the plot. I really just don't care about the Lessening Society.
Not at all.
Not at all. Mm-mm. I have been reading their storylines for these books, but I don't care. I do know that in the next book, it is heavily featured because of the storyline of the book.
Yeah.
And Bella getting taken. But also, I'm like, do I care?
No.
Not so much.
No.
Aside from that, they're just like the enemy, kind of like blanket enemy in my mind. And I get that they're scary and stuff, but I know they're not going to win.
Well, the thing is...
Overall. I mean, obviously they have some victories and they have some heartbreaks on the Black Daggerhead side, but I know, like, you're not going to win.
It really, for these books, I really just need, like, the bad guy.
Yeah. Like, she spends a lot of chapters on their... organization and their storyline.
It almost like she wants me to feel sorry for them or feel like invested in their storyline. But no matter how much she describes it, I'm literally just wanting to skip those chapters.
I mostly do.
I just need the Lessening Society to attack when it's required in the plot for them to attack, and then not.
I don't need to know their grand plan. The grand plan is they're evil and they're trying to kill them all.
And there's an Omega. Done. That's all I knew the first 3 times I read through this series.
I agree.
Like,
totally agree. I'm glad you're on the same page as me.
Like, this is so... I get it, JR. You are so smart. You write a lot of books.
She's smart.
You're really great. You plan this out.
Yeah.
But really, you could take a break. on the
These
listening society days.
8 chapters shorter.
Exactly.
I don't need it.
Half as thick. These things are like thick as my arm. These books.
I know. All right. So, what are you thinking about Mary, our heroine? What score are we giving Mary?
I gave Mary a 3. I gave her 3 peaches. I liked some of the things about her. I liked some of her tenacity and stuff. I also was really annoyed that she whined a lot. So yeah, I
too gave her a 3.
You gave her a 3.
Yeah.
She's right in the middle.
She's right in the middle. She's not great. She's not terrible. She's just 3.
Yeah. I feel like the whole book for me is like
a 3. Also, Rage got a 3 from me.
Yeah, he got 3 from me too.
Yeah.
That's the first time I think we
I know. We've never agreed before. This is very exciting. I mean, yeah, because like he's not my favorite brother. He does have a lot of concern over hurting her and the brothers with the beast, which I thought was like a nice addition to his character. Kind of fleshed him out a little bit. And I love his like sort of put his foot in his mouth like bravado that he's always just like spewing shit. But I didn't love, like you pointed out, that he went and didn't tell her the truth all the time, even though he's demanding the truth. And just in general, I felt like this whole book, I was like, it's good. Yeah. It's not great. It's okay.
I will accept this as a setup book for the next one that's coming.
There was
that
a lot
I love
of world building in this book, which I liked. I actually, this is a future teaser, everyone. But
Bridget put on her sexy voice.
Oh, yes. Because I felt like a teaser deserved a little teaser. Rhage and Mary are featured as a subplot in a future book. And that book, I really liked their relationship more, and that book more than I liked this book. Actually, they might be the main plot in that book, now that I think about it.
Is it one of the half books?
No, it's a full book.
Huh.
Did you read their other book?
I'm sure I did. I honestly can't remember anything until
it's
read
book
through
like
it again.
15 or something like that. But and I really liked them more the second time that they're featured. Because one thing I like about these books as the series goes on, you'll see this as we talk through the books, is that a lot of these characters, obviously they get through their own book. So like Zadis is going to have a book, Fury's going to have a book, Vish is going to have a book. Like everyone gets their own book. But then as the future books go on, there's a lot of books where like Beth and Wrath have a future book that they're
having a baby.
They're gonna like, should they have a kid or not?
Yeah.
And like everyone has future books where either something is going on in their relationship changes, or like there's an injury, or there's whatever. So it's kind of nice because it's like you get the like happily ever after, but like happily ever after with like the work of a real relationship, which I actually really think those books are super romantic later on, because and she like calls back to their initial sort of these books where everyone's like fucking constantly and just like the hormones are swirling and stuff, and you kind of ignore some facts. And I think it's nice in the future books. I think they're like almost more romantic because it's about them like choosing to continue on the path together and choosing to love each other and choosing to like make a, sacrifice or make a, I want to say commitment, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Compromise. There it is. Make a compromise. Good Lord.
Because commitment is compromise, y'all.
Commitment is a compromise. So anyway, a little tidbit, if you've never read the series before, Rhage and Mary will be back.
They will be back.
And in that book, I think it is better.
And I can't even remember what book it is.
Shelley doesn't even know what book it is.
The thing is, I've read this series like 3 times. Yeah. Though I haven't read past The Chosen.
Okay.
So I just
Layla? Or?
Yeah. So I got stuck there.
Okay.
The third book that just came out, like 3 books ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm stuck there. I've read half of the book,
books.
And I haven't gotten through it. And I don't know why. I'm just like, got a block like on the story now.
Well, but maybe we'll make it to that podcast in like a year, since there's so many of these books.
A year,
in a
2
year
years,
from now,
5
dear
years.
listeners, we will finally have made it to the book.
So
Shawnee
Bridget and I are now on book 15.
Yeah, so good.
Do you think,
Seriously,
Bridget, did you bring out your vibrator?
We will be old as F by the time this happens. My next kid will be like 1.5 by the time we make it to the last book in this year. He'll be 2 years old. So I thought he was a McDreamy. I didn't think he was a McSteamy for me, even though he was a sex god, which I thought was kind of ironic.
So I thought he was a McSteamy, like question mark, because I do think that energy play is a type of kinky play, and I felt like the energy was there. However, I felt like it was a vanilla, like, they didn't do anything too. I mean, the wrapping up in chains is kind of BDSM, but it was more practical, not like, ooh, we're gonna wrap you in chains because it's gonna be kinky.
Right.
So I thought it was like just like very much on the borderline of being steamy, but then I said that he turned into a selfless McDreamy, or McSelfless Dreamy.
Yeah, he did turn into McDreamy for sure.
Yeah. So I feel like McDreamy is probably the realm that he more lives in. I do love that he's like a movie star looking like God walking around on Earth, and she's like, "Oh the hell, this is my nigga, like this is my dude."
Yeah.
Like, oh shit. I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
About it. So I did say McDreamy at the end.
Okay. I do think also to your kink point that the classy to the nasty, this was very vanilla, except for the kinky part of the beast coming out in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And Mary embracing that and that whole rendezvous.
I think all of us ladies want the beast to come out in the bedroom. Like,
yes.
I mean, yes. Nobody's like, yo, put that beast away.
No.
I mean,
everybody's like, show me what you're working with.
Show me what you're working with.
Yes, I totally agree with you.
So,
if all the my husband was like, I have a beast inside me, I'd be like, let's get the chains out. I've read a romance novel like this. I'm ready.
You're like chains? Here they are.
Yeah, I don't have chains. I don't even know where I'd find chains.
I got them on Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon probably.
Amazon Prime. You need chains.
Probably. One day, is there a Prime now?
Is it Prime today?
Can you deliver it right now?
Is it Prime Fresh? What do we? Hashtag not an ad, but should be an ad.
Not
Amazon?
an ad, but should be an ad. Oh my God.
Yeah, so it was fairly vanilla to me.
Yeah.
Which is funny because the books always read like they're not going to be so vanilla, and not all of them are.
No.
But quite a few of them are like not that crazy.
I mean, Vicious's book is not vanilla.
No.
Decidedly chocolate. It is.
Neither is it Revenge? I think
Revenge's book is also not vanilla.
Yeah.
There are some vanilla sex scenes, but
it's kind of good though, because in a series this long, like I
mix it up.
Yeah, I'm committed to like reading every book. So sometimes when there's a vanilla book, I'm like, gotta read the next one because I gotta get that fix. Yeah, So that's cool. That's cool.
What was your favorite line in the book, Shani?
Ooh, my favorite line in the book. So my favorite line in the book was, I picked it because it was this like I see what you did there moment. Honestly, that's literally why I picked it. It's not like super special. Mm-hmm. But Mary was going over all the things in her mind. Like she was so sad that she was like gonna die because she couldn't be with Rage anymore.
Right.
And the line is, she felt no peace, no acceptance. All she had was rage.
Oh.
And I was like, I see what you did there.
I see what you did there, girl. You punned it up.
Look at that.
Look at you go. Wordplay.
Little wordplay there.
Get that wordplay in there.
So it made me laugh. I just had this moment where I laughed, and I was like, you know what? That's my favorite line.
I liked, she smiled a little. You're a manipulator. I like to think of myself more as an outcome engineer. And I was like, that is awesome. Yeah. And I am forever going to call myself an outcome engineer. I'm not manipulating you. I am
an outcome
engineer.
That's great.
Fixing the outcome for my benefit.
In my benefit.
And your benefit.
Stacking this all.
Stacking the deck. You know what's funny is usually I feel like I like the funny reviews where they're like, everything is hot, hot, hot. I love it. 5 stars. But I did pick a review this time that they rated it the same as me from Goodreads. Mm-hmm. This is from Exina. Exina.
Sure.
I know that many fans favor Rage from the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, and although it's not my first read, and I really tried, but still, I failed to like him or his story. In Lover Eternal, my main complaint is the alliteration or revealing of true nature of Rage's personality. I prefer the devilish, funny, sexy Rage he was before, not the weeping, whining, peevish man he has become. Rage wants Mary to be honest with him, to share her feelings and fears, to let him into her life for a couple days. But he doesn't tell her very important things about himself. Unspoken words, hidden facts, mistaken assumptions, poison the relationship. And of course, in time they get over this. Mary's behavior is understandable because of her disease, and she's a strong and courageous character, but has irritating moments as well. I'm not saying I hate the main characters, but I was disappointed. I did like John Matthews' storyline. Yay! I cried with him over that bowl of rice. I love that scene. Mr. O's distinguishable antagonist, a psychopath, really terrifying. Mary's scene with the beast. more and more information of the world and traditions of the Brotherhood. Bella and Zadis, their story seems intriguing. And I was like, that perfectly sums up all of my feelings.
That is actually super, super accurate.
Right? Very, very
like spot on.
Spot on.
Yeah, I feel like exactly that same way. I did like that you did find out about the Lessening Society. You did figure out in this book how extreme the punishment was for when they have to go to like the Omega.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is rough.
That shit's fucked up.
And your butthole is never the same afterwards.
No, it's not.
Like, oh.
There's a lot of rape.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Grossness.
So a quick point I want to make is that this narrator is the one who said Tupac in the recording.
Not Tupac?
Not Tupac. Tupac.
She was listening to 2 packs of juice?
Yes, like 2 packs of juice. I was like, come on, Jim Frangione. And actually, because somebody complained about the narrator the last time we read it, I listened to him this time.
Yeah.
And I realized that they are correct. It is, because I'm so used to listening to narrators, he is very robotic. He doesn't do much to differentiate between characters. And sometimes, because there's so many brothers, I don't know who is speaking.
Oh, that's annoying.
And so that was a problem. Because I've read it so many times, I know who's speaking. Right. But in general, you really don't know who's speaking.
Is he the narrator for the whole series?
He's the narrator for the entire series.
Interesting. So either her or the publisher must have picked him.
Yes, but they should have really caught the 2-pack.
The 2-pack feels like a faux pas.
Yeah. Faux pas.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because she talks about them listening to gangster rap all the time.
All the time.
Like, you can't mess up 2-pack.
Yeah. One review that I was reading was talking about how, like, how does that sync up with them being, like, centuries old vampires that they're, like, soups into, like, rap and you know, they're always like, sup, my brother, and all, they're always like using all these colloquialisms and stuff like that. And like, maybe it makes sense for Vicious because he's kind of embraced that.
Yeah.
But for the other people, wouldn't they be more like Darius and Tor and stuff where they're more formal?
Or want to listen to older type of music?
Only because, they're like hundreds of years old. It doesn't really make sense that they adopted it in the last 10 years, I guess.
I just put it together, though, in my mind because all of the vocabulary in this book is so disjointed to me. They go between this old English to new colloquialisms, and I just realized that J.R. Ward is like a white lady from like Tennessee. Like, this makes absolute perfect sense to me now. It's like, you know, hey there, my brother, the honor of this or whatever, and then it's like my shit kickers.
Yeah, the Dogen are always like incredibly formal.
Yes, you know, and I realized that the vocabulary makes total sense. As if this book is written by a white woman from Tennessee who's using colloquialisms. Now I hear everything so different in my mind.
That's funny.
Just think about it, Richard.
I hear you.
You hear it.
I hear it.
You can't unknow this.
I already knew she was a white lady from the South.
We knew it, but then when you really put the vocab together, you're just like,
yeah, that's true.
Oh.
Also, that she didn't catch that it was 2-pack. 2-pack.
Did you think she Googled? She was like,
I don't think he would have been popular if his name was 2-pack. I'm going to put it out there.
I'm going to say it too.
People would have made fun of him.
But do you think she actually listens to Tupac? Or do you think she actually Googled it? She's like, what is hardcore gangster rap? And
I almost feel like she must listen to some because they use a lot of different references throughout the book. So I feel like maybe she listens to it when she's like jogging or something.
Do you think J.R. Ward is the most gangsta-ass woman out there in the streets?
I think she's like proper in the streets and gangster in the sheets. That's what I think.
I think so too. I think we need to meet J.R. Ward. That is our goal. That's our goal. We are going to meet J.R. Ward because we need to know. And we need to hang out with her for a full day.
I gotta know.
To see from beginning to end. I need her to do one of those YouTube videos that's like a day in the life of.
J.R. Ward. I would watch the shit out of that video. It'd probably be her at her computer just typing for like 8 hours.
She's like, really, guys? You really want to? All right.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't know.
Yeah,
probably be a lot of typing.
Yeah. So my review that I picked is one that I thought was most accurate. So sometimes I just pick a general one, but this one I thought was accurate, which was from Milana Haas from Audible. I'm not sure if that's how you say that, but here we go. It was titled "Pissed Me Off Halfway Through the Book." #spoilers. The protagonist couple does something so stupid I couldn't finish the book. He won't sleep with her because his beast will come out unless he levels up with sex or violence. So he leaves to go to the bar with his love waiting in his room. When he gets back, he confirms he slept with another. No woman in her right mind would sleep with someone after that, let alone their first time. I don't think it was her first time.
I don't either.
But maybe she means their first time together.
Maybe it was their first time together.
Yeah, it was their first time together. Yeah. It was. Maybe that's what she means. Let alone their first time. And then claim they felt they were in the bad because they took advantage of the man who had just slept with someone else hours prior.
Also, did he like wash his dick off? Like, no, he didn't shower.
That's nasty.
Yeah,
That's nasty.
yeah.
I didn't think of that, Bridget, but now
I
you just
didn't
made
either.
this
It
even
just popped in
nastier.
my mind.
It ends with, I call BS.
Yeah, well,
And I agree with this because if my dude went out and slept with another woman, I don't care if he has a rage demon on his back, okay? And we didn't prior consent to that kind of poly. Let me tell you right now, there would be no nookie. There would be no cookies and no nookie
no nookie that night.
happening. I would have been gone or whatever, or I'd have made him rub my feet. One of those
For
two.
25 hours. 25 hours of feet rubbing.
Until I was unmad.
Yeah.
Again. I mean, those are the options that would have happened.
Yeah.
But there would definitely not have been any nookie like at that point. No. And I thought it was really
It was just I kind of like, I don't know. Again, I kind of forgave it, I guess, because it's paranormal. And also I kind of sped right through that part and was like, all right, well. I mean, it's in the book. Like, what are you going to do?
What do you do?
I can't change it.
But I definitely just don't like cheating.
I don't like cheating.
In books.
I've also never cheated in real life,
Yeah.
nor been cheated on that I know of. And I feel like cheating is very disrespectful. I feel like if you want
someone else,
someone else, either you need to look at your relationship and realize, do you want to be with your partner still, or do you really just kind of cheat because you're trying to get out of this and you're trying to like don't know how?
Yeah.
Or
be poly.
Or like talk it out or something, or have a threesome or figure something out. But anything that's like shady where you're doing it behind people's backs is just, I think, silly. On that note, if you want some other book recommendations of books that we do love in the paranormal romance world, head over to our website, romanceataglance.com, and you can buy a copy of this book if you want to read it, buy other books. We get a small commish off of any books that you buy on our website. So if you're planning to buy a book anyways, you may as well buy a book through us so that we get a few cents.
Yes, please. Thank you.
So what do you think, Johnny? Worth the read?
It's worth the read so you can get to book 3 for sure.
I basically said it's worth the read for the world building and for the fact that it introduces so many characters and you need to read it to keep going. Otherwise, if you don't read this one, then subsequent books, there's a bunch of stuff that won't make sense.
Ditto.
So read it. Let us know what you think. Hook up with us on the Instagram.
Yes.
Talk to us. Let us know on the website. You can obviously leave comments on the website. We reply everywhere. I'm very interested in hearing your thoughts.
I want to know what people are thinking. I used to be part of a Black Dagger Brotherhood like email chain
Did you?
group on Yahoo.
How fun.
Back in the day. I had to stop because there were so many messages every day.
Yeah.
Like it was insane.
People are very passionate about the series, which is why like of the 20 books, like 15 are bestsellers or something.
Yeah. Something stupid like that.
Yeah, it's insane.
She's so rich.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
I would assume so. Well, I think that's all we got today, Shani.
Yeah, I think so too, Bridget.
Until then, may your books be your lover.
And your hand, your best friend.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time.
Yow!
Thanks for listening.
Subscribe to our channel to get new episodes, clips, and more.
And click here to watch our previous reviews and author interviews.